What's up guys, it's Drac, and this is the Nightingale 1.0, and I actually think that I never got around to reviewing the Nightingale 1.0. It is a handheld machine pistol that originally I want to say came in full auto and semi-auto variants, but it's also highly irrelevant at this point because I just got in from my buddy Luke this, which is the Nightingale 2.0, and it is a market improvement. Now, while these are in buy-sell trade groups for like 60 bucks as people try and offload them to upgrade, you can get a new one for about 70. This is starting in at about 80 bucks for the base layer. The orange is an Out of Darts exclusive, so you got to get that one from Luke. And the one that I am featuring in my review today is the $105 version. It's $105 because it is full auto and it is brand new. So this is the 2.0 with all of its metal greeblies and quality of life attachments. I just want to talk about first what you're getting with the bump, and then we will review it in its pure form, independent of its lineage. But the Nightingale 1.0 is just proof positive that an injection molded mag and grip sort of pistol was a desirable thing within the hobby. It is lightweight. It had a lot of heat set inserts, like M3 heat set inserts, so that you could put rails on it. You could hit it up with a litany of different sort of magnet attachments. There's stuff back here if you wanted to mount, you know, I guess a stock or a kit to it. A lot of people built different stuff. This one has a bungee on it. I want to say because it's from my buddy Charles, and that's like you could attach it and spring it up off of like a chest rig. But the notable feature that made it really nice is that it had this removable trigger guard, and it had a pretty comfortable mag release, and it had this rubberized grip. It didn't have tack rails, it didn't have attachment points, and it was a little bit of a pain to get a key in here so that you could twist this off and get into the battery compartment up front. Significantly heavier duty, better build quality, etc. is the Nightingale 2.0. Over here you can see it says Yeeling 2.0, but the big indication that it's a 2.0 is that it has a metal dart guide, I presume a metal flywheel cage, although I'm not 100% sure. It comes standard with 132 Neo motors. It's got a metal top rail, metal side rails on both, and then it has a slightly easier to access 90-degree Allen key here where this comes off, and it has, I think, a slightly larger, due to just the difference in shape, this kind of cuts in. This is sort of a snub nose. It has a little bit more room for a battery, so you could fit in excess of the 550 milliamp hour battery, which, you know, came pretty standard with the 3S over here. But it runs on 2S, 3S, and 4S. Mine is currently being reviewed with a 3S battery in it. Note that that is in addition to the $105 for the product. For 105 bucks, you get the blaster with all of its rubberized greeblies. You get a metal sling point attachment. It is no longer a removable trigger guard. You get all of the metal upgrades and accessories. I think the switch in the back, the safety switch, is plastic, but it is off color, you know. I think that that just looks better than the solid orange there. Like I said, anything with this size profile, you're gonna wanna be in orange or possibly white. Gray, black, dark blue, etc. does not look good for public play, particularly if you have this thing holstered. The part that's sticking out is mostly the rubberized grip. I wouldn't want to be wielding one of those while gunslinging in a public park. Not in today's world. This is a Dream HVZ blaster. It is a one-hand wieldable machine pistol. Like I said, mine's a little bit more expensive because it's the full auto version. If you like semi-auto, I think you're gonna get way more consistent shots, but what you're not gonna get is that. So cool. Live out your underworld fantasies. Go absolutely nuts with it. Get two, go akimbo. On 3S, it's delivering right at around the end war threshold, that 130 FPS limit, and it does have a relatively high rate of fire. I think Luke says about 6 darts a second, which means that it goes through a 15-round magazine in under 3 seconds flat. So that's pretty speedy, quick. You're gonna want extra magazines. Of note, it only comes with the one, so you get one magazine. It does have a overmold rubberized thing. It's overmolded and it fits perfectly into the grip. So if you have larger hands or you just want to be tactical, you can definitely wrap around. I wear size large gloves, and the extended magazine reminds me a lot of my Walther PPS, where the regular slim fit magazine, my hand hangs off of it. The extended magazine, I can fit both hands on it in a pretty traditional grip. It's a slick shooter. I mean, it is a very cool product and clearly has a lot of premium attachments. Notably, it's got metal on the flared magwell at the bottom. The flare is ever so slight. It's machined out. There was a flared magwell on the original one, but now you have metal for all of your drop and bump protections. Speaking of which, the mag drop is very comfortable. And with this rubberized sort of a bumper pad here, you can do that and it'll bounce its way around town. Hard to damage, hard to break. The magazines are proprietary. Of note, these are Nightingale magazines. Angled Talon magazines from the same company will not go. That's the price you pay for a grip that feels good and is a mag in grip pseudo primary. I've definitely seen people gunsling these as primaries, maybe not for competitive, but certainly for super stock or some of those HVZ games. Overall, I think that it is an awesome product. It's a very compact package. It's easy to holster. It's incredibly tactical. If you have the right environment where this makes sense for you, I think that it is well worth checking out. But before we sign off on it entirely, given the $100 price point, I think that we should take it down, put it over the chronograph, and show you what it's got under the hood. But first, the comments say that you guys want more Jinx, and I understand. I get it, because she is the world's greatest dog. Jinx is here to say hello to you guys. I hope your week is going great. She's got a little bit of a tear stain. We need to make sure that she's got less minerals in her water, but the Nightingale 2.0 is about half a Jinx of Blaster. So for those of you that wanted more Jinx, there you go. She'll be down at the firing range for the next segment here. Jinx, do you have anything you want to tell your adoring fans? Woo-doo. Alright, so we're over here at the range with the Nightingale 2. We've started doing our range and crony data a little bit differently. So as we show you this crony data, I'm just going to tell you it's hot. I mean, it hits about an average of 130, but it's obvious that there are outliers punching into the mid 140s. Because of that, I can't recommend it as an HVZ blaster on 3S. However, its rate of fire is too fast for HVZ anyway. So if you ran it on a 2S LiPo, your FPS would drop well below the end war threshold, and you'd have more controllable burst fire for, you know, blasting down ranges of Zeds. I think that as a 2S, this is maybe the perfect HVZ pistol. It's hard to say. Pretty spicy, pretty serious. 4S will kick it up a little bit hotter, but it's still not into that competitive range, so I think that it lives in super stock land, and HVZ is where it really, really thrives. But I want to put a few down range for you. I've got a target set up at about 35 feet. This first one's just going to be a complete 15-round mag dump, and we'll see how many wind up on target. Looked like all but one, which is pretty slick. Now, as I mentioned in the Venom review, it is compatible with the Dart Zone magazines. They're all, you know, whatever you want to call it, the worker pistol mag geometry, but they drop comfortably and they nest in a little bit tighter, being 12 rounders as opposed to 15. We're gonna try and pop off some burst fire here while maintaining rounds on target. We'll aim for the head this time. And that's all she wrote. I mean, again, on 3S, you are going through those darts pretty quick, but you can pick one of these up on outofdarts.com for 105 smackaroos. I think the orange is by far the superior color pattern. If you're not gonna do orange, I'd get a white and dye it red. You might wind up with something pink if you don't do it necessarily correctly, but pink would be park safe too. Overall, I mean, the orange is the safest option for a variety of different gameplay patterns. It gets a little warm after use, so it does not benefit from active cooling necessarily, but I've been playing with it on and off for a few weeks. I do really dig the product. This review is certainly a little late. I am behind the times, but the comparison coming up soon between this and the Venom should be very enlightening, given that I think that these products were designed in parallel to compete with one another. So check it out in the description box down below. Let me know your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hopefully when I said those, the YouTube AI made those things light up on the bottom. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time. As always, much love, blast on, Drac out.